In a kingdom of old, there lived a wise king who possessed a most peculiar secret. Each day, after the midday meal, a covered dish was brought to him alone. No one knew its contents, nor was anyone permitted to witness his solitary repast. One day, a curious servant, tasked with carrying the king's dish, could no longer resist temptation. He lifted the lid, revealing a coiled white snake. He took a small bite, and instantly, a wondrous change came upon him. As if by magic, the servant began to understand the language of all creatures. The cooing of pigeons on the roof, the chirping of sparrows in the eaves, even the buzzing of bees in the garden, all became clear to his ears. This extraordinary gift, however, remained his secret. Soon after, the queen's most precious ring vanished without a trace. The king, in his distress, declared that the thief must be found by morning, or the servant would face dire consequences. The servant, filled with despair, wandered into the courtyard. There, he overheard a goose complaining to its companions about a worm it had swallowed. The worm, it declared, was none other than the queen's lost ring. The servant, understanding their chatter, seized the goose and brought it before the king. The king, astonished, ordered the goose to be slain. Within its stomach, the queen's ring was indeed found. The king, overjoyed, offered the servant any reward he desired. The servant, however, asked only for a horse and money to travel. On his journey, the servant encountered 3 desperate situations. First, he saved a family of fish from a fisherman. Next, he rescued a colony of ants from destruction. Finally, he helped a raven chick return to its nest. Each time, the grateful creatures promised to remember his kindness. He eventually arrived in a city where a princess sought a suitor. She had set 3 impossible tasks, and any who failed would forfeit their life. The first task was to retrieve a golden ring from the bottom of the sea. The fish, remembering his kindness, brought the ring to the surface. The second task was to gather all the tiny seeds scattered across a field. The ants, in their countless numbers, collected every single one. The final task was to bring a golden apple from the tree of life. The ravens, soaring high above, fetched the precious fruit. The princess, amazed by his success, took him as her husband. They lived happily ever after, blessed by the kindness he had shown.